I'm Mayor Maté, sitting in for Jimmy Dore, here with Misha Pollan and Americans comedian Kurt Metzger. Big news, everybody. The U.S. has a new program to defend journalists. Here's Samantha Power, the administrator of USAID. Today, USAID launched a new program called Reporters Shield, an insurance fund for journalists around the world to help them fight back against lawsuits meant to silence their voices so they can stay in the business of holding authoritarian and corrupt actors accountable. Here's Samantha Power on CNN.
You're launching a new program today that will give resources to journalists around the world who are dealing and interacting with these authoritarian governments. How will that work? What could it have done to potentially help someone like an Evan Gershkovich potentially?
Well, right now around the world, there are more than 500 journalists who are in detention of some kind. And just in the last year, 67 journalists have been killed while doing their work. This is a growing phenomenon, is a growing problem. As countries become more repressive, as corrupt actors want to hide what they're doing, they lash out at journalists. And one of the things we realized is that lately, the tactic is to actually bankrupt journalists as well as to detain them. And
okay, but besides the stuff you're trying to do to Matt Taibbi, what?
That's right. This is the government. They threatened Matt Taibbi with prison. This is the same government that killed Reuters journalists in Iraq. That was revealed in the collateral murder videos that WikiLeaks released. And now WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is being persecuted for releasing material like those videos.
Did you hear what she just said? They have a new tactic where they try to bankrupt. Canceling? Is it called canceling? Did you just resell canceling like it's some weird foreign thing?
So what we're launching today is called Reporters Shield. It's an insurance fund that will allow journalists who may not have the means to compete with a repressive government or an oligarch to actually have the insurance and the legal protection that they need in order to fight back and stay in the business of holding accountable those actors who are trying to steal and repress their people.
That's great. So that's going to be some cutout. They don't want any. Clearly, it's not going to independent journalism.
No.
It's going to like those TikTok. You see those Joe Biden promoters on TikTok, the young kids that got paid. It's really embarrassing.
I haven't seen those. No,
it's very obvious paid, like Midas touch kind of politics girl shit. Yeah. That's what that means.
Huh. Here's Kevin Costola. Excellent new opportunity for Julian Assange and WikiLeaks to apply for U.S. funding to help their media organization survive lawfare from the U.S. government. Journalism must be defended from legal threats meant to silence critical voices. I mean, that's right. She talks about defending journalists who are being financially squeezed. After Julian Assange and WikiLeaks exposed U.S. crimes, PayPal and other financial platforms were pressured to cut off WikiLeaks so that people couldn't donate to WikiLeaks even if they wanted to, because the U.S. government and their allies wouldn't let PayPal process transactions for WikiLeaks. And here is Simon Atiba. He is the African reporter who's been repeatedly censored at the White House as part of the White House press corps. I cannot believe this. Samantha Power of USAID says the Joe Biden government is launching Reporters Shield program to protect journalists worldwide. This is a joke. He says, you attended a White House correspondents' dinner where I was not allowed to attend because of my questions, because I'm doing my job. Stripe tried to bankrupt me after my confrontation with Jen Psaki for trying to get answers, and I have not been called on in months because Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre is afraid of my questions. The White House Correspondents Association kicked me out for doing my job and said it was because I did not have money. I can't believe this. You want to do good around the world. Why don't you start here? This is a joke.
Because we're already the best, Simon.
And yeah, just recently, Julian Assange completed 4 years in a British prison. 4 years as he struggles to resist U.S. extradition because they want to, the Biden administration, carrying the torch of the Trump administration, wants to extradite Assange here and prosecute him under the Espionage Act. And again, recently, this happened too. House Democrat threatens Matt Taibbi, a journalist, with perjury charges for Twitter files testimony.
Oh, thank God they got that in before Press Freedom Day.
Here's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Instead of championing free speech, the U.S. actively persecutes journalists and whistleblowers. I'll pardon brave truth-tellers like Julian Assange and investigate the corruption and crimes they exposed. I wonder if statements like this are why the White House does not want Joe Biden debating anybody during the primary.
I would vote for him just for that. Just anybody with the balls to do that, I would vote for.
And it's not just the White House being blindly hypocritical when it comes to Assange. Here is Vagabundo on Twitter. Only in The Guardian will you find 4 articles in one day about the dangers to journalism and not one single mention of Julian Assange.
Even if you think he's not a journalist, all these assholes published his findings.
Yep.
So you all spread it around.
Yep.
Like, where are you going to get your stories from? I guess they'll be handed to you by the new Samantha Power. Oh, Jesus Christ.
If he's guilty too, then all these outlets are just as guilty as him, but they've rewarded his courage and his sacrifice by selling him out to the point where now outlets like The Guardian, which have reported the leaks that Assange disclosed that he made public, have now taken part in the disinformation campaign against him and are now completely ignoring him on the day when we're supposed to celebrate press freedom.
It was wrong of him to spread that. We felt so terrible while we were further spreading it.
We're telling jokes in Nashville, Honolulu, Los Angeles, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Baltimore, Chicago, Rosemont, San Diego, and more. Go to jimmydore.com to get a link for all those tickets. Plus, you can watch my new special, COVID Lies Are Funny.